There comes a defining moment in every parent's life when you realize the relationship with your adult children has shifted. After decades of being their rock, their guide, their safe harbor, suddenly the dynamics change. Your wisdom is dismissed with a casual, "That's not how things work anymore." Your opinions are interrupted. Decisions about family gatherings, even about your own life, are made without your input. And then there's that tone, that subtle but unmistakable condescension that makes you feel diminished, as though your lifetime of experience somehow counts for less now. That moment of realization doesn't just hurt, it can shake the very foundation of how you see yourself. If you're experiencing this painful shift, I want you to know something crucial. You are not alone. And more importantly, you have the power to change it. Thousands of parents who once felt exactly as you do now have transformed these strained relationships into bonds of genuine respect. Parents who once lay awake replaying hurtful conversations, who once bit their tongues to keep the peace, who once felt invisible in their own family circles. These same parents have reclaimed their dignity and rebuilt connections that are now stronger than ever. I won't offer you empty platitudes or suggest another round of heart-to-heart talks that leave you feeling more frustrated than before. What I'm about to share comes from decades of witnessing remarkable transformations in parent-child relationships. Today, I'll reveal the first 3 of 6 powerful strategies that can revolutionize how your adult children see and treat you. These aren't quick fixes or manipulative tactics. They're profound shifts that will empower you to stand in your truth and inspire the respect you've earned. Some of these approaches might challenge your instincts, but I've seen them work time and again, even in situations that seemed beyond repair. First, stop chasing approval and start cultivating respect. The most powerful shift you can make today, right now, is to release the exhausting pursuit of your children's approval. Look closely at your recent interactions. Have you been rearranging your schedule at a moment's notice to accommodate theirs? Staying silent when you disagree? Apologizing for having needs or opinions of your own? These behaviors come from love, from that deep-rooted parental instinct to maintain connection at any cost. But here's the liberating truth that can transform everything. The moment you stop seeking their approval is the moment you begin reclaiming their respect. I witnessed this transformation in Eleanor, a remarkable woman who had single-handedly raised 3 successful children while building her own business. Yet at 72, this once formidable woman had diminished herself to a whisper in her children's lives. She prefaced every call with, "I know you're busy. I won't take much of your time." She apologized for having opinions. She rearranged doctor's appointments when her daughter wanted last-minute childcare. "I just can't bear to be a burden," she told me, eyes downcast. "I'd rather stay quiet than risk pushing them away." 6 months later, this same woman sat across from me, transformed. "I haven't changed what I say," she told me, eyes bright with newfound confidence. "I've changed how I say it." What happened? Eleanor stopped the endless accommodating. She spoke her mind with calm conviction. She maintained her standing appointments. She expressed her preferences without apology. And most importantly, she began treating her time and opinions as valuable. The result? Her children started calling more often, staying longer, and actually listening when she spoke. "They look at me differently now," she said, "like they're remembering who I really am." This isn't about becoming difficult or inflexible. It's about reclaiming your rightful dignity. Today, I challenge you to identify one situation where you've been seeking approval at the expense of your self-respect, and change it. Say the thing you've been holding back. Maintain your plans when they conflict with last-minute requests. Express your preference without apology. You earned your place of honor through decades of wisdom and sacrifice. It's time to carry yourself accordingly. 2. Don't argue for respect. Embody it. When your children dismiss your wisdom, talk over you, or treat you with subtle disrespect, your natural instinct may be to defend yourself, to remind them of all you've done, to demand the consideration you deserve. This instinct, though understandable, rarely leads to the outcome you want. Here's a truth that can save you years of frustration. You cannot argue someone into respecting you. Respect isn't won through words. It's earned through presence. Frank, a retired teacher who had commanded classrooms with quiet authority for decades, found himself increasingly dismissed by his adult children. They talked over him at family gatherings. They rolled their eyes at his suggestions. Sometimes they even laughed when he tried to offer guidance based on his experience. Initially, Frank responded as many of us would, by pointing out their disrespect, by reminding them of his accomplishments, by trying to verbally reclaim his position of authority. But the more he argued for respect, the less he received it. Then Frank made a profound shift. Instead of demanding respect, he began embodying it. When interrupted, he would pause with dignity, and when there was space to speak again, he would continue with the same measured confidence that had served him so well in his career. He stopped desperately trying to prove his relevance, and instead carried himself with the quiet assurance of someone who already knows their value. I stopped trying to convince them I deserved respect, he told me, and started showing them what respect looks like. The transformation wasn't immediate. Deep changes rarely are, but it was undeniable. His children began to notice the shift. They saw a father who wasn't desperate for their validation, but who carried himself with genuine dignity. Gradually, interruptions decreased. Questions about his perspective increased. They began to see him not as someone fighting for position, but as someone whose very presence commanded respect. When your children treat you dismissively, resist the urge to point it out or argue against it. Instead, respond with the dignity you wish to receive. Speak calmly, but with conviction. Maintain your composure when tested. Never lower yourself to matching disrespect with disrespect. True dignity doesn't demand acknowledgement. It simply is. When you embody it consistently, others can't help but notice. If you're finding these insights valuable, I'd be grateful if you'd take a moment to click the like button and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us reach more people who might be facing these same challenges in their families. Now let's continue with our third powerful step to reclaiming your dignity. 3. Develop emotional independence. Perhaps the most challenging truth to embrace as you age is this: you cannot depend on your adult children for your primary emotional fulfillment. As parents, we naturally develop deep bonds of love and connection with our children. We invest decades of our lives in nurturing these relationships. It's natural to expect that investment to be returned through attention, appreciation, and affection. But here's what I've observed time and again. The moment your children sense that you need them to feel valued and fulfilled, the relationship dynamic fundamentally changes, and rarely for the better. Helen was a devoted mother who had given everything to her 3 children. As they built busy lives of their own, she found herself increasingly alone. She would wait anxiously for their calls, and when they didn't come, she would call them often. She would tell them how much she missed them, how empty the house felt without them, how she wished they would visit more often. Her intentions were pure. She genuinely missed her children and wanted connection, but the unintended message she was sending created the opposite effect. Her calls became obligations rather than connections. Her children began to associate conversations with her with guilt and pressure rather than warmth and love. Then Helen experienced a surprising transformation. After recovering from a minor health issue, she joined a support group that evolved into a circle of friends. She reconnected with old colleagues. She discovered a passion for watercolor painting and joined a local art class. She began volunteering at the community library, and something remarkable happened. Her children started calling more. They began asking about her projects, her friends, her upcoming plans. They saw her not as someone waiting by the phone for their attention, but as someone living a rich, full life they wanted to hear about. The pattern is consistent. The less emotionally dependent you become on your children's attention and validation, the more freely they give it. When you demonstrate that you can create meaning, purpose, and joy independent of their involvement, you transform from an obligation into an inspiration. This doesn't mean pretending you don't deeply value your relationship with your children. It means ensuring that relationship is just one part of a fulfilling life, not the entirety of it. In this video, we've explored 3 powerful ways to begin reclaiming the respect you deserve from your adult children. We've seen how stopping the endless pursuit of approval, embodying dignity rather than demanding it, and developing emotional independence can transform how your children see and respond to you. But this is just the beginning of your journey. In part 2 of this series, I'll share 3 more game-changing strategies that will continue this transformation. We'll explore how to set clear boundaries, how to give generously without being taken for granted, and how to create a life so rich with meaning that your children can't help but see you in a new light. If you found value in today's insights, please consider subscribing to our channel and turning on notifications so you don't miss part 2 of this important conversation. And if you know someone who might benefit from these strategies, please share this video with them. Sometimes the right message at the right time can change everything. I'd also love to hear from you in the comments below. Which of these 3 steps resonates most with your situation? Or share a time when you successfully reclaimed respect in your relationships. Your experiences not only help me create better content, but they also inspire others facing similar challenges. Thank you for spending this time with me today. I look forward to continuing our journey together in part 2.